Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hope you're doing well. Today I'm here with a very important topic, and the topic is how to attempt your paper. Okay, and the best way to attempt any exam paper. So, first of all, let us see what are the points which I've mentioned for you people. Three basic ideas which you need to keep in your mind while you're attempting the paper of any of the exam. So the first thing that is coming in and which is very important is that count the number of pages of any of the exam paper. Let's suppose there are 14 pages in some of the papers. Some of the papers are having 10 pages. So if there will be any misprinting or any of the page will be missing, so you will immediately contact the examiner or the invigilator and you can simply tell about your problem there. So in the beginning of the paper, the examiner is going to change that for you. Otherwise, if you're doing it at the end of the exam or sometimes you don't remember even, then you will lose those marks. And most of the students, they're not in a habit of doing that. The second important thing is start from the easy question. Now, when you sit for the paper, keep that in your mind that you have been provided a specific time period. So most of the students they start from the very first question, question number one. And for example, if the question number one is difficult, they're still working on it. So this will take you a lot of time. So to make it easy for yourself, just check out all the questions and see which question is easy for you. Then start from that question. Okay, when you will be starting from that question, it will be making things very simple for you. Yani, the burden on your shoulder will become very less and you will not be in trouble, and you will be saving a lot of time as well. Then every paper is having a logical sequence, but it's not important that the logical sequence set by the examiner is exactly working for me. So for me, maybe question number one is not easy, but question number three is very easy. So I'll try to work on question number three first. This is the logical question. So you should start from the easy question, moving to the hard, and from hard to the harder ones. So let me repeat once again, questions which are easy for me may not be easy for you, and which are easy for another student may not be easy for the other student. So that's why every student must do one thing, that you should go through your paper, see the question, choose the correct question, and then start working on it. Okay, and leave the hardest questions for the last part of your paper. This will save you a lot of time, because you know time is money. In this case, if you have 2 hours with you or 1.5 hours with you, you have to save it to solve your paper, and maximum marks you need to be scoring out of that. Then time management, of course, for any kind of activity, whatever you're doing, time management is playing a very crucial and important role there. Okay, so if you're able to manage your time, if you're able to do things quickly, if you're able to do things properly, then of course you will be getting a wonderful result. And when you're sitting for the paper, uh, everybody is trying to get a wonderful result actually. So no one is willing to get horrible results. For that, there are some key points which you need to be taking in your mind. And one of them is that you need to be calculating the total marks of your paper. For example, your paper is having 70 marks. Now you need to see for how long is your paper to be solved out. Like for example, there's a time given in your paper and the total marks are given there in your paper. So the simple formula which you're going to use it, that is total time divided by total marks. So this will give you an idea that okay, let's suppose I'm working for 5 marks, so I need to be having 5 minutes for it. So if you're spending more than 5 minutes for 5 marks, it means that you're spending the time of other questions on it. So there is a specific ratio, and that ratio should be maintained by all of us. Whoever is attempting any of the exam, the time versus marks ratio is to be maintained. So do not spend more time, relate the time to the marks, and then try to work it out. Then choice of revision. Whatever you do, like for example, you have attempted question number one, then revise that question, because you need to be clear at the end of this question that let's suppose question number one is for 5 marks or 10 marks. You need to be sure about it that you have obtained those 10 marks. So just do a quick revision of that, and when you're satisfied with that, then try to go for another question. Like for example, if you don't revise that question in the beginning and you go at the end for revision, you will not be having a time to revise everything. So that's why time management, which is giving you a choice of revision, is very important part of solving any kind of a paper. Then choice of selection. Now, some of the papers are having different sections in it. For example, section A is there, section B is there, and those sections are having like giving you a choice, either solve question 1 or question 2 or question 3. So if you have a choice of selection within question 1 and 2, then the best option is to choose the question which you have a command on. Yani, the question which is clear to you, you need to be working on that. But if you're not clear with the question, then don't work on that question. Then sort out the question which you think that you can score maximum out of it, and then try to work on that. That is the choice of selection. So you should be having a good choice of selection within the questions also. Then, of course, whenever you're going for any of the examination, the paper prerequisites or paper requirements must be in your mind. Okay, if you're going for a paper and you're going without pen, pencil, or eraser, then you're making a mistake actually. So before going for a paper, you need to have a pouch with you, which must be having the important equipment for you. And keep in mind, every paper has a different requirements. For example, mathematics paper is requiring a geometrical box. So pen, pencil, and eraser, they are very important. Basically, every paper has its own unique requirements, and you cannot can you miss out calculator or geometrical box while you're going for a maths paper. So keep that in mind that certain things are very, very important while you're using them. Um, then moving on to the guidelines, it's very important part. Whenever you're going for any of the example, there are guidelines given by the exam doors. They're printed outside, they're pasted outside the exam door. They're sometimes inside the exam room. Sometimes the examiner is giving by itself, by himself. He's distributing those, pamphlets are given, or some of the pamphlets are displayed there. So you need to be following those rules and regulation, because if you don't follow the rules and regulation, definitely you'll be disqualified, or you'll be in a big trouble. So keep that in your mind that to avoid disqualification and all that stuff, you need to be following all the guidelines. And thank you very much for staying with me, in touch with me. I'll be uploading many more videos regarding different topics, especially past paper solving videos I'll be uploading. So stay tuned with me, inshallah. Thank you very much. Have a blessed time. Assalamu alaikum.